Imagine you're about to learn the most shocking secret ever hidden from the world. So hidden that people once feared it. You're standing on the edge of a mysterious world where light and darkness are constantly battling. And it's not just happening far away, it's happening inside of you. We're about to explore a story so strange and intense that the Bible itself banned it. It's about the paraphrase of Shem, and trust me, it's not your usual creation story. In this story, darkness and light fight over everything, including the world we live in and the very soul inside each of us. At the center of this tale is a war between three forces: light, darkness, and spirit. The light is like the best version of yourself, the real you. The darkness represents everything that scares you, your bad thoughts, or even the worst things you try to forget. The spirit is the part of you that strives to maintain a balance between the two. Without the ability to resist, darkness may prevail. Darkness doesn't just exist outside of you, it's inside, trying to mess with your thoughts and actions. It's sneaky and dangerous. Those times when you feel overwhelmed, scared, or just plain negative, that's the darkness getting stronger. And if we're not careful, it can take control without us even realizing it. But don't worry, there's a way to fight back, and that's where the light comes in. We can tap into the power of the light to rise above the darkness. But this isn't just some far-off spiritual war. It's a battle we all fight every day, inside our hearts and minds. In the book, They Walked with Jesus, Dolores Cannon, a regressionist hypnotist, shares the stories of those who lived during the time of Jesus. These were people who walked beside him and witnessed the deeper spiritual teachings he offered. Her work provides a new understanding of the spiritual forces of light and darkness, showing that this ancient battle is something we're all part of even today. The Book of Jubilee explicitly states that Ham's descendants would inhabit this land, which extended from the Nile River in Egypt to the Great Deserts and further south into what is now sub-Saharan Africa. The text describes how Ham's descendants spread across this vast territory, establishing settlements and kingdoms. Gnostics viewed the material world as corrupt, created by a lower, flawed being. They believed that the true divine light was beyond our physical reality. The paraphrase of Shem takes readers deep into these Gnostic beliefs, describing the chaotic creation of the material world and the dark forces that battle with the divine light for control. For this connection was often used to explain the diversity of races and the spread of human populations. However, it is essential to recognize the historical misuse of these interpretations. During the transatlantic slave trade, some proponents of slavery used the story of Ham to justify the enslavement of Africans, arguing that Ham's curse was a divine endorsement of their subjugation. This connection was often used to explain the diversity of races and the spread of human populations. However, it is essential to recognize the historical misuse of these interpretations. During the transatlantic slave trade, some proponents of slavery used the story of Ham to justify the enslavement of Africans, arguing that Ham's curse was a divine endorsement of their subjugation. The result was a flawed and painful existence, yet within that chaos, a spark of divine light awaits rediscovery. According to the Gnostic worldview, spirit represents the part of us that remains connected to the divine. Light is the source of purity and goodness, but darkness represents corruption and deception that traps spirit within the material world. This constant battle between light and darkness reflects the internal struggles we face every day, the fight between our higher selves and our shadow side. The paraphrase of Shem serves as a metaphor for the human experience, portraying spiritual entrapment, where the spirit is lost in a world dominated by material desires, chaos, and evil. The Gnostics believe that darkness represents our lower instincts, the things that hold us back from reaching enlightenment. Light symbolizes the higher self, striving for divine purity and understanding. This battle between light and darkness is not unique to Gnostic texts. It mirrors teachings in various religious and philosophical systems, from Zoroastrianism's dualism to Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self. This idea of an internal battle is universal. Jung emphasized the importance of bringing our unconscious shadow self to light to reach wholeness. Similar to the Gnostic view of integrating spirit and light to overcome darkness, the text teaches that no matter how overwhelming the darkness may seem, whether it's negative thoughts, difficult circumstances, or fear, the light within us is powerful enough to overcome it. But first, we must recognize this struggle and learn how to navigate it, just like the Gnostics did centuries ago. These Gnostic texts conceal knowledge that enables individuals to rediscover their divine essence and conquer internal darkness. By understanding these deeper forces at play, we can access our higher selves, where light always triumphs over darkness. The concept of spiritual evolution is at the heart of Gnostic teachings, and it's more relevant today than ever. Spiritual evolution refers to the idea that our souls are on a journey toward enlightenment, rising above the limitations of the physical world and awakening to our true divine nature. However, this journey isn't easy. There are forces both within and outside of us that challenge us at every turn. But every challenge also offers an opportunity for growth. In the paraphrase of Shem, the battle between light, darkness, and spirit isn't just a story about the universe's creation. It's an allegory for the spiritual journey we all experience. The light represents the divine essence within us, the part of us that is pure, wise, and connected to something greater. Darkness, on the other hand, stands for ignorance, fear, and selfishness, which dominate the material world. Spiritual evolution begins when we realize life is more than the physical. Gnostics believe that true awakening starts with understanding that the material world is an illusion, a distraction that keeps us from realizing our deeper purpose. But once we see through this illusion, we can start awakening the light within, which allows us to connect with our higher selves. But this awakening doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of growth, one that requires constant effort and awareness. The darkness within our fears, doubts, and negative habits doesn't want to let go easily. It tries to pull us back, keeping us trapped in old ways of thinking and behaving. That's why the journey of spiritual evolution is so challenging. It requires us to face our own inner demons and transform them into something positive. In our everyday lives, the forces of darkness can show up in many forms: difficult situations, toxic relationships, or societal pressures. But more often, the darkness comes from within. It's the voice of doubt that tells you you're not good enough, the anger that takes over in stressful moments, or the fear that stops you from pursuing your true path. The Gnostics understood this as the battle between spirit and darkness. Spirit represents the part of us that longs to evolve, to grow closer to the light, while darkness seeks to hold it back. This is where the true test of spiritual evolution lies. How do we overcome these internal and external forces? One key part of this process is self-awareness. By becoming aware of our own negative thoughts and patterns, we can begin to break free from them. Gnostics believe that knowledge, gnosis, was the most powerful tool in overcoming darkness. This knowledge is not just intellectual, but a deep personal understanding of the forces that work within us. The more we know ourselves, the better we can navigate the challenges that life throws at us. As we progress on our journey of spiritual evolution, we begin to tap into what the Gnostics referred to as higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is the state where we are fully aware of our connection to the divine light. We begin to see the world through a different lens, shifting our actions from fear, greed, or selfish desires to compassion, wisdom, and understanding. This process of awakening higher consciousness mirrors the spirit's transformation in the Paraphrase of Shem. In this story, darkness initially traps the spirit in the material world, weighing it down. But through the intervention of light, the spirit becomes more aware of its true nature and is able to rise above the chaos. This reflects the spiritual journey we all take, learning to let go of what no longer serves us and embracing a higher way of being. At its core, spiritual evolution is about becoming the best version of ourselves. It's about recognizing that we are more than just physical beings going through the motions of daily life. We have the potential to grow, evolve, and connect with something much greater than ourselves. Gnosticism can seem complicated, filled with mysterious terms and ancient concepts, but at its core, it's about something incredibly simple: understanding yourself and the world around you on a deeper level. Gnosticism is all about finding hidden knowledge, not just facts, but spiritual truths that can change how you live your life. In this section, we will simplify Gnosticism into concise concepts, enabling you to understand the fundamentals without becoming bogged down in intricate terminology. At its heart, Gnosticism emerged around the 1st and 2nd centuries AD, teaching that the material world is an illusion and the real truth lies beyond it in the spiritual realm. This hidden knowledge, or gnosis, was believed to hold the key to escaping the flawed material world and reuniting with the divine. Gnostic thought attributes the creation of the material world to a lesser, imperfect being known as the Demiurge. This being created a world full of suffering and deception, but the true divine light exists far beyond this physical reality. The goal of Gnostics was to awaken the spark of that divine light within humans and break free from the material world's cycle of suffering. In Gnostic belief, light represents everything good, pure, and connected to the divine. Light symbolizes truth, wisdom, and spiritual awakening. On the other hand, darkness represents ignorance, deception, and all the things that keep us trapped in the material world. Gnosticism teaches that by recognizing this battle and choosing to follow the light, we can rise above the illusions of the physical world and discover our true selves. Gnosticism refers to the perspective that the physical world is essentially a distraction or an illusion that keeps us away from grasping spiritual truths. It emphasizes that the more we concentrate our attention on tangible materialistic aspects such as wealth, power, or social status, the more we drift away from uncovering and understanding the true nature and essence of the universe. This worldview suggests that our preoccupation with external possessions and superficial achievements causes us to lose sight of deeper, more profound realities that lie beneath surface appearances. In the pursuit of hidden knowledge, knowledge that reveals spiritual realities and the core truth of our existence, we can discover something far more meaningful, enduring, and authentic than what the physical world can ever provide. This path of seeking inner understanding and esoteric truths promises a richer, more enlightening experience beyond the transient and often superficial pleasures of material possessions. It's about intentionally redirecting our attention away from external appearances and worldly distractions towards an inward exploration, a deep dive into the process of self-discovery and spiritual evolution. The concept of the demiurge holds significant importance within Gnostic philosophy. In this framework, the demiurge is often regarded as a deceptive or illusionary deity responsible for shaping the material universe we experience. This entity is distinguished from the benevolent, omnipotent gods found in many mainstream religions, as it is not considered to be all-powerful or fundamentally good. Instead, the demiurge is frequently viewed as a flawed or even malevolent figure, whose creation of the physical realm serves to trap or obscure the soul's true divine essence, emphasizing the importance of inner awakening and liberation from the illusionary world it has crafted. Instead, the demiurge is fundamentally ignorant and riddled with flaws, and as a result, the world he fashioned is inherently filled with pain, suffering, and deception. If this thoughtful exploration of Gnostic beliefs and the ongoing inner struggle between light and darkness struck a chord with you, and you felt a sense of connection or reflection through it, then perhaps you might consider showing your support. You can do so by clicking the Super Thanks button located below, a small gesture that helps sustain this kind of content and encourages more deep and meaningful discussions in the future. Your valuable contribution plays a vital role in enabling us to keep producing content that reveals concealed truths and encourages a more profound level of understanding. Gnostics, in particular, hold the belief that the demiurge, a divine or semi-divine figure, aims to keep humanity confined within the limitations of the material world, diverting attention away from the pursuit of genuine spiritual enlightenment. They see the focus on superficial distractions, such as material possessions, fleeting pleasures, or worldly concerns, as intentionally engineered barriers that prevent individuals from awakening to higher realities. By supporting us, you're helping to keep these topics alive and relevant, fostering continued interest and inquiry into these profound ideas. Be sure to stay tuned for the upcoming video, where we'll explore these mysteries even more thoroughly, delving into the depths of Gnosticism and addressing the ongoing spiritual battle that each of us faces. This journey promises to uncover insights that challenge perceptions and inspire a deeper search for truth. This concept of feeling confined or imprisoned within the confines of the material world is something that resonates strongly in today's society, especially when we observe how modern culture places such a heavy emphasis on notions of success, wealth, status, and outward appearances. It often seems like an endless pursuit of possessions, achievements, and surface-level glitz that keeps us distracted from deeper truths. In contrast, Gnosticism presents a different perspective. It teaches that to break free from this cycle of superficiality and material entrapment, one must seek out hidden esoteric knowledge that lies beyond ordinary understanding. It encourages us to delve into the mysteries of existence, to uncover the divine light that resides within each of us, and to awaken that inner spark of spirituality that can guide us toward true liberation. In this way, Gnosticism offers a message of hope, reminding us that despite the allure of material success and external validation, there is a higher, more meaningful path that leads inward and upward, beyond the illusions of the material realm. It serves as a gentle reminder that regardless of how daunting or overwhelming the challenges we face in life might appear at any given moment, the inner light within us never truly fades away. That light is always present, silently waiting, patiently enduring, for us to pause and rediscover it once more. Each individual possesses an incredible potential deep within, an ability to overcome the darkness that might surround us and to reconnect with the divine truth that resides at the core of our being. When we tap into that connection, we open ourselves up to a transformative process, one that has the power to not only change who we are on the inside, but also to influence the world around us in profound and meaningful ways. This inner illumination is always there, shining brightly behind the shadows, ready to guide us back to our true nature and to inspire us to bring about positive change in ourselves and in the universe we inhabit. It all starts with posing some fundamental questions to ourselves, questions that delve into the core of our inner experience and self-awareness. What are the distractions that constantly pull my attention away from what truly matters? What fears or doubts am I carrying that prevent me from stepping fully into my authentic self? These inquiries serve as a mirror that reflects the often unseen or ignored parts of our psyche, those hidden fragments that are still asleep, lurking in the shadows of our subconscious mind. When we take the time to shed light on these areas through honest reflection and awareness, it's as if a gentle illumination reveals the concealed corners of our being. As we do this, our perspective begins to shift. We start to see ourselves, our motivations, and the world around us in a fundamentally different way, more clear, more compassionate, and more aligned with our true essence. This process of self-discovery and awareness transforms how we relate to everything in our experience, opening the door to growth, understanding, and genuine self-acceptance. You are so much more than the limited image you see staring back at you in the mirror. Beneath the surface, beyond the superficialities, lies a vast, untapped potential and a divine identity waiting. You are an integral part of something much larger than yourself, an incredible whole that is illuminated by light, guided by wisdom, and grounded in truth. When you choose to embark on this journey of deep self-discovery and inner exploration, you open the door to transforming your life in ways you perhaps never even thought possible. The battle between light and darkness is very real, and it plays out in many ways around us and within us. However, equally real is your innate power, the strength you hold within to overcome that darkness and choose a brighter path. I want to sincerely thank you for being an active participant in this ongoing journey. Your involvement, your presence, and your engagement truly make a difference in keeping these conversations and explorations alive and meaningful. Your participation helps sustain this collective pursuit of understanding and growth, making the experience all the more fascinating and impactful for everyone involved.